Reading Between the Words, the podcast where we go beyond the page and into the heart of the story. Here, authors don't just share what they wrote, they reveal why they wrote it. So, because the real story is never just ink on paper, each episode pulls back the curtain behind the book, the doubts, the determination, and the defining moments that shape both the story and the storyteller. So, if you believe books have the power to add value, spark growth, and transform lives, and even bring some needed moments of escape, you're going to love what's ahead.
So tell me about your book a little bit.
Yes, so my first self-published book was Broken Vessels, Letters to Abba. That is a book of poems. There's also a few short excerpts in the back of the book that leave kind of like a cliffhanger for the second
Okay.
book, which is Concrete Rose, Secret Place in Abba. And it is about the journey of getting saved and surrendering completely to the Lord, and that there are times where I fought it. I fought against it. I was trying to do my own thing and trying to find my own way, like we all are trying to figure ourselves
Right.
out. But over 15 years ago, I really said yes to the Lord. And then what that journey looked like for me, so I write about that. I write about letting go of alcohol, letting go my first marriage, and how that transpired, how I knew that this wasn't the best for me, but
Mhm.
marriage is, you look at marriage as like an eternal, till death do you
Yeah,
part, um
absolutely.
so I learned in my mistakes that this marriage was not of God, and I share that journey. I share about um experiencing near death experience. I share about, um, going through the challenges of not realizing that I had acceptance issues, not realizing that I was looking for validation, that motherly and fatherly validation, um, through people, and was totally ensnared to people pleasing. I mean, when I say ensnared, where it was like, I would do everything to try to make everyone happy at my demise. And it was just devastating to my health. It was causing issues. And even my second marriage, I've been blessed to remarry. And we're going in, Lord willing, into our eighth year.
Oh,
And I
wow.
learned so
Congratulations.
much within that first few months of being remarried and realizing, like, wow, he is my family now. This is the person that I go to with my thoughts and what's on my mind, and it took time to learn that,
Yeah.
right? So I write about those different challenges, and I really love um the second book because it's so raw, Ellis. It is so true. And I mean, not saying the first book wasn't, but I really talk about the things a lot of people are afraid to share,
Right. Right.
because
Yeah.
it's going to be a blessing to other people. It's going to let others know that you're not by yourself. You're not the only one who has experienced betrayal. You're not the only one who has experienced abuse, um, or went through post-traumatic stress disorder, which I did. I was assaulted after my divorce with my first husband,
Mm.
and
Oh,
was
wow.
still going to church. I was still going to church. I kept it very private. I only shared it with a few people that were close to me. But I was very traumatized. Even going outside, I didn't really um, just feel comfortable being outside when it was dark, and those type of things. And to know that I still love the Lord, I was still serving the Lord, I was still singing uh on a praise and worship team, but yet I am literally dealing with post-traumatic stress. Started to
Yeah.
see a counselor, um and I thank God for my gynecologist, because she knew, I had to go to her and let her know what happened, and we did a kit, and everything, and they had to make
Right.
sure everything. So all of those experiences happened after I said yes to the Lord. It didn't it didn't,
Right.
so you're like, wait a minute. You things should be going in a different way, Lord, but it was, I can laugh about it now, Ellis, but it was a journey. It was very hard for me. I didn't realize how much it affected me emotionally, because I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going.
Right.
kept being that strong one, that strong friend, that strong sister, and everything that really to my demise, I pushed my feelings and emotions to the back burner. And now it's different because I'm realizing now that in doing that, you know, um, you lose sight of who you are. You lose sight of the genuineness of saying, I'm not okay. The
Right.
authenticity of saying, you know what, I need help, or this is bothering me, or this is hurting me, or I can't stay in this relationship because it's toxic. There's some relationships we might have to walk away from
Yeah,
on this spiritual
absolutely.
journey. Yeah, so I learned that. Um, in the second book, and then I've been blessed to be featured in 9 anthologies. I give God praise for that because I never even
Awesome.
thought for one moment that would be, this writing journey. I remember, the most recent book with Nikki Cuesta, we did Me Versus Me. I just felt it in
Oh,
my
I was
soul.
in that one too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was
And,
so
and
good.
it just felt like, wow, this is going to be life changing. This book is really going to be life changing. It's going to be, um you know an awareness for other women and men out there. I can't speak for all men, but I can say there's a lot of women where we sabotage.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, and so it's a beautiful thing.
it is. And I did love your chapter. I read every single chapter in there. I wanted to hear what everybody wrote. And
Yeah.
it was just amazing. It's not like, even though we talk about sabotage, it's not like everybody talks about the same thing, just in their version. These
Mhm.
are totally different stories, and it was just
Mhm.
really powerful. Um, I
It
wish I
really
would have
was.
remembered that you wrote in that book. I would have read your chapter again just before we talked and refresh it, because I did love it. I did love your chapter. It's just, yeah, it was wonderful.
I hope today's conversation on reading between the words gave you a glimpse into the heart behind the book and sparked something new for your life or business.
You can find Broken Vessels, Letters to Abba. The paperback version is on Amazon.com. The author is Latoya Washington. Thank you, Latoya, so much for being on my show today. And you can always find all of my books on www.lskirkpatrick.com or find them on Amazon under author L.S. Kirkpatrick. Thank you. Have an amazing day. Thanks for sitting on our porch today.